Welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show.
Hello and welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show. We're back. Finals is upon us, almost. Buddy, a huge weekend of footy. It was all happening. Just a shout out to the AFLW, the Hawthorn girls. Went along yesterday.
Got the win.
They had a great win against the Brisbane Lions up here at, I think, Brighton Home Arena, which is the home of the Brisbane Lions. Unbelievable facility. The surface was out of this world. But a shout out to the girls, a very courageous, spirited win. And, great way to start the season against the Brisbane Lions, who have been very good all year. And a shout out to Eliza West. I got to present a few jumpers yesterday, bud. And,
any number nines? Or
Yes, there's definitely a number 9. And Eliza was playing her 50th game. And, so a special presentation. But she was standing with the group in her outfit, ready to go, with this baby. And I said, listen, it's amazing to play for Hawthorn. It's a family club. We love this club.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll look after your child all day. She said, it's not my child. I don't have a child. So anyway.
So it was just a kid in there?
So there was it was her little nephew. But anyway, we all had a bit of a laugh, but it was awesome. They did a great job. Hey, it's all happening in the AFL world. The big news right now is Izak Rankine is under investigation for a homophobic slur when they played Collingwood on the weekend. Yeah, as we've seen, he's obviously innocent until proven guilty. We hope he's innocent because we want him playing, obviously, in the finals. The Adelaide wants him in the finals. But if he's proven guilty, this is not going to be a 1 or 2 weeker, as we've seen in the past. It's a long-term out of the game. So I don't know how we attack it from here, but
well, you look at
what do you do?
The last couple of guys that have obviously
significant time out of the game,
5-6 weeks. So this could be a huge blow to Adelaide Crows. Obviously,
they cannot win the grand final without him in their team.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. He's a key to the way they play. But as you said, it's under investigation. We're not too sure what was said or whatever, but I'm sure we'll know by the day's end.
Back in my day, we used to make football calendars, get our tops off. They were called Men for All Seasons calendars. I don't know if you're familiar with a calendar, but you used to hang up in your toilet door.
So I was never on those things.
But anyway, I used to cop it back in the day, and you just used to roll with it. But it's a different time, and the AFL's really stamping it out. So this is going to be huge. And as we speak, it's under investigation by the AFL. So they'll be interviewing and trying to get to the bottom of it, and there'll be a sanction, you would think, if proven guilty by the end of the day. So this,
it's going to be huge, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's massive 24 hours to work out exactly what was said, and then they can go from there, but it'll be a massive blow to them.
Can we talk about Nostradamus again? You've done it again.
He was at it, wasn't he?
If you're listening to our Thursday shows where we go through who's going to win, yes, we both nailed our morals, but Buddy has done it again with the Giants. You said it was going to happen against the Suns, even though, they were travelling up to...
but no Hogan.
No Hogan, that's right. No Stringer, no Kelly, no Buckley, no chance. And the only one who believed, and is a true believer, was Buddy Franklin. They've done it again.
Yeah, as I've said pretty much all year, I'm a true believer in them. I think them at their best, they're the best team in the competition. There's no doubt about that. I think the way they play, they've got guns all across the field, and they showed again they're one of the best teams in the comp. To come up here against Gold Coast, which have been playing some really good football this year, they challenged Gold Coast. They really challenged them, especially inside the contest. Through that midfield, they went head-to-head with Rowell and Anderson, and they knocked them off. So it was a big win for them. Disappointing for Gold Coast. I thought they would have put up a little bit more than what they did, to be honest. I think they'll be really disappointed with that. But yeah, credit to GWS. They got it done. I think they need to, hopefully they can get Hogan back. I'm hearing he could be out for a little bit longer. But it was a huge win. Huge win.
You also mentioned last week's show, Jeremy Cameron. You need to apply some pressure to him. Don't allow him to do what he wants to do. You get on the front foot, and that definitely happened in the Swans match. Jeremy Cameron, no goals.
It did. Tom McCartan did a really like awesome job. And I think that for me, watching the games throughout this year, I think that's what teams have really struggled to do against Jeremy is his body contact and directing him where you want him. Obviously, no forward likes that. And then on the weekend, I was watching Tom. He was all over him. He was being physical with him, making sure he wasn't getting goal side. And if he was getting his marks, it was up on the wings. That's the way you play him. And I've seen throughout this year, he has kicked a lot of his goals against that bottom 9 team and hasn't kicked too many against the top team. So it's going to be an interesting final series for Jez. And I'm sure he'll kick his goals or whatever. But is there going to be any big bags in there? I probably can't see that.
And maybe Chris Scott doesn't want the big bags. Maybe he wants it spread around.
You know what, Croft? They won. In the end of the day, like everything's not just about Jez kicking goals. It's he opened up space for other guys. They hit the scoreboard, and they also won by 40 points. So you take that every day of the week.
It was their running machines through the middle. So the elimination finals, they've come early. It all comes down to Sunday's afternoon, where the Bulldogs are playing Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. So if the Dockers lose, they'll become the first team ever to miss the finals with 15 wins. So it'd be a disaster for them because they lost the last 4 games last year and finished 9th.
Yeah.
So it would be obviously something similar. So Fremantle started the round in 5th, and if they lose to the Bulldogs next week, they'll miss the finals, 15 wins. They failed the big tests. They're at home. They had an opportunity to win in front of their home crowd, but they got smashed, absolutely smashed by the Brisbane Lions.
They did.
No Lachy Neale.
I tipped Freo. I thought they were going to be a little bit too good, and they're usually very hard to beat over in Perth. But they'll be disappointed with that. Like obviously, credit to Brisbane. They were incredible to go over there. They can travel anywhere interstate. They look like a team that has been there and done that. A professional unit went over there and got the win. Their midfield's just incredible, isn't it?
Gears. They've got more gears than every other team, and their midfield for me has been the superior midfield all year when they've been switched on. And what I loved about their win is no Lachy Neale, and that's a worry for me. I'm like, where's Lachy Neale? He sets them all up, gets them going, so clean. But you have players like Fletcher who come in, has 30 touches or whatever he had, and you say, listen, I need a bit more from you this week. We might change your role a little bit. And these players have been really good players, but they're like, do you know what? I've played midfield my whole life. And since I've come into this team, I've been playing half back, half forward. I've been on the wing, all over the place. So it gives them a great opportunity to stand up. They're ready for it.
Yeah.
And it just adds more depth to a already strong midfield. So a huge win for the Brisbane Lions. And they've won against good teams. They knock Collingwood off, no worries. We'll go down to Geelong, we'll take them apart. Fremantle, when supposedly at their very best with the crowd against them, we'll turn it on. It's just when they go back to the Gabba, they just switch off the touch.
Yeah, they're a tremendous team. We know that what they can do. But on the flip side, Fremantle, disappointing. I think that's one I don't think they play finals now. There's no way they're coming to Melbourne.
You don't think they can beat the Bulldogs?
No way. Is that going to be at Etihad Stadium or Telstra Dome?
That's it.
They're not coming over and beating Bond.
You don't think?
No way. There's no.
Surely they're going to put up a fight. Surely they're going to be in this match.
They'll put up a fight, but there's no way. They don't travel well. They don't travel well to Melbourne, and Bulldogs at that stadium are very, very hard to beat. And I reckon Bulldogs will just put them away.
Wow, that will be
it's going to be a cracking game, though, isn't it?
Awesome to watch because you get 2 teams playing for their lives. Yeah. Exactly what you want. Come to the last round of the season. So I don't think they're going to be that easy to knock off, but you'd be thinking the Bulldogs can find a way. I want to talk about St Kilda. So I'm hearing lots of stuff, and I'm going to give St Kilda the benefit of the doubt. It's not about playing on the weekend. It's Wanganeen Miller, whether or not he stays or whether or not he goes. We want him to stay. We think it's great that if he stayed, but then obviously there's so many, so much interest in whether or not he reconnects back home with his family and goes back to an environment that he's grown up with and loves. But when you're pitching for a player, and I'm hearing stuff from people in the know that when St Kilda are pitching, money. And when you look at De Koning's figure that they've been offered, it's just all about the money. When you look at Wanganeen Miller, he got offered a contract and then they've gone back and offered more and then they've gone back and offered more. Straight away, I'd be disappointed because I'm like, why couldn't you give me your very best from the very start? But then I speak to other clubs and the lengths that they go to when they pitch. This is our list. This is our environment. This is what we expect. When your family goes to the match on the weekend, this is what happens. By the way, here's where the childcare is because we make sure that your wife can have time out doing this or your girlfriend or partner or family can have time focusing on the game. Investment-wise, do you know what? What's your aims? Okay, if you want to buy a $2 million house, by the end of your career, we're going to make sure you got a $3 million house and we're going to help you this way. Your interests outside of football, stock market.
Yep.
Well, we've got someone amazing in this space we've already spoken to who's happy to guide you and develop you for life after footy.
Yep.
We've got 5 welfare people who are on top of all sorts of things. So they throw everything at them and it's not about the money.
Yep.
It's all about the environment and how wonderful it is. And I'm giving St Kilda the benefit of the doubt, but I'm hearing it's all about money, whereas other clubs are all about it's great to be here, this is what we're about, past players do this, we do this, you're a part of our family forever. So
you only have to look at
what do you say to that? And you've been through this with the Swans.
Yeah, I think you only have to look at what happened last year with Grundy. He had the opportunity to go back to Adelaide on really good money or sit and have a chat to Sydney, and he obviously chose Sydney over Port Adelaide. I think culture's a big thing. I think if you've got a good culture, yes, the money's nice. If you get paid handsomely, that's great. Mm-hmm. But I think the culture, a winning team always helps. But I think culture of the people that run the club are really important, and that's a big part of the choice. I think you'd be looking at that and going, how's the club actually run? Are there good leaders in place that play that can help you out too? I think that comes into it. The money can be good, but it's everything that comes with it. Because in the end of the day, you've got to be the one that's happy.
Yes,
you got to be the one that when you're running out that you're happy and comfortable with where you're at. Because money doesn't buy happiness, Rolf.
No, it doesn't. So from the Swans' point of view, to lure you, like they had a great leadership. They were really focused around the blood culture, and they had great leaders, and it just felt like it was a great environment for someone who was an outsider and someone who, seen them as rivals. So that would have been heavily involved in the pitch for you when you, even though you wanted to change states, but it became pretty clear to you where you had to go.
Yeah, I think obviously the big part for me was moving to Sydney. I wanted to obviously get out of Melbourne and experience something a little bit different, but I think that winning culture for me was a big factor. Mm-hmm. Not going to a club that was struggling, I think that was a big thing for me too. But a winning culture definitely helps. Good people. Obviously, Longmire was there, had a really good relationship with him throughout the meetings, throughout the year, which was really good. But yeah, just good people and good positions. I think that's really important.
And I find a part of the pitch also is football's only a small discussion. It's more about you as a person and where you want to go and future aspirations and how can we sort of guide you. So anyway, I'm hoping, and as I said, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I just hear money, and I'm like, that's not always the right way to go. Can the Giants win the flag without Hogan?
Oh,
that's a no. That's a no.
They need him.
Yes,
they need him. I think they definitely you need a big boy up forward, especially in the big finals, MCG. How good would it be if see a fit Hogan on grand final day step up and kick 4 or 5 goals? I think that'd be incredible. But I think they would struggle without him to win a flag. But that's why they need that foot. I don't know. Matty Cameron, the physio's down at GWS, mate. Just give it an injection, mate, and get him up.
Well, they're saving him obviously for finals, but you've got to get yourself in there. The Crows lock in the top 2. It was a good, hard-fought win, even though they got smashed with inside 50s, but who cares? All that matters is that you're in front. Well done to Matty Nicks. He's been there for a while. There was doubt whether or not they continue with him. They've backed him in, and currently sitting on top of the ladder. It's a great effort, and Adelaide's rocking. Not Port Adelaide. They don't care. The supporters don't want Adelaide to do well.
Crowd.
Record crowd. It's good for footy. They're starting to believe. It's a great season by the Adelaide Crows.
Well, I think that's the way footy should be played. If you watch that game, that was like a final. Two teams that wanted to win. They wanted to win. Obviously, Collingwood had a red-hot crack. Should have won. They had more inside 50s. They were all over them. They just couldn't connect centre forward. They scrapped and scrapped and scrapped, but just couldn't find any goals. But, Adelaide, I haven't been – we don't speak about them much on this podcast. I've copped a few messages from the Adelaide Crows supporters. We don't speak about them much.
We're not true believers just yet.
They're on top of the ladder, so that –
I'm still not a true believer
I'm
just
still
yet.
not a true believer of a flag, but they might prove me wrong. But
you're in the best spot right now.
They're in the best spot. You're going to get a home final, win that, you're into a prelim, so you're halfway there. But Nix, he's coaches them really well. And the last two games when they've been at the opposition have kicked the first 4 or 5 goals, and a really good side of a good team is that arm wrestle when the team's on top of you and has momentum, that you can just stick to what you do structure wise. Know that things are going to turn. I think that's a big thing, and they believe. And Dawson's the captain. I think he leads from the front really well in that part, and they're playing some good footy, which is awesome.
And they went last year and recruited some really good role players. Pete Ling coming. Neil Bullen. It just adds so much experience, and it just allows you to fiddle around with your side a little bit. They've obviously strengthened through the middle. Their forward line's good and their defence is great. So some very good recruiting, and you don't always have to get the big names. It's not always about the big names. It's the role players. It's the end of the day. It's about a team functioning as a team, and these players have come in and played some great roles.
Yeah, well, I think the list management's been awesome. As you said, they've sort of handpicked what they need for the certain roles, and that's good signs. And everyone's just doing their bit, which is awesome. And like you said, Adelaide's absolutely rocking. And I think Nixie said that in his press conference after the game, trying to keep the lid on. What was it?
Well, he said that the lid's on internally, but
off.
It's off with the fans, and so it should be.
Yeah,
you got to dream, you got to believe. Yeah. And right now, it's a great time to believe.
And, I think it's a really good thing for Tex too. You do feel for guys that have been around. You've been in that position when you've been around the footy clubs for a long time, haven't played too many finals. This could be his year to play in a grand final. He's played one and lost one, but playing a grand final and hopefully win a flag. But I think it's good for those older guys. They get this opportunity now with these young kids coming through to maybe playing a grand final.
Pinch a flag. Where to for the Pies? They've lost 5 of their last 6. They were very brave on the weekend, but they had to be because they're fighting to stay in the finals, let alone, top 4. So where to for the Pies? The effort was good.
Who have they got this? They got Melbourne?
Melbourne. Not going to be that easy.
That's going to be a win. So
yes, they'll win that.
They're going to end up top 4.
Should finish top 4.
So
it's not going to be that easy against Melbourne.
I think they're going to head back to Adelaide, first final, play them again.
Okay. So they'll have a bit of confidence thinking, do you know what, we can match them. We can just get our ball use forward half better. So it's not a disaster. They can still win the flag.
Well, if I think if it wasn't wet, they would have had those opportunities to mark the ball a little bit more. But no, I think I think if you watch the press conference with Fly, he was wrapped with their effort.
Super positive.
Their effort was really good. He's super positive.
I think it's mind games he's playing right now.
Well, he knows he's going to play them in a couple of weeks. So, and you don't want to be giving too much away of how you're going to play them next time. But I think if they go to Adelaide in a couple of weeks' time, I think they'll be very confident that they can get that done. It's just that centre forward connection. If they can hit up a target and just scrap for goals, I think that's a big thing. You need to scrap. You can't, like in finals, it's not going to come in clean. You just got to find other ways to kick goals.
Bobby Hill may come back in as they head towards finals, so that'll give him something in that forward line. And then you got Howe down back. So a couple of nice little ins. So all's not lost there. The Hawks been written off. I think Matty Lloyd about a month ago said Hawks can't win the flag. I'm not saying they're going to win the flag, but
come on, Matty. Where's Essendon, mate?
Saying they can't win the flag, and I think it was Montagna a couple of years ago. So it's the worst list. They're not going to make the finals for 10 years, you know. But this is a team. This is a team of role players. Even with some of their best players out, Weddle and Will Day, they just function as a team. And what I liked about their win on the weekend, they smashed them early. Because, hang on, Melbourne, they got a new coach. They're playing a bit different. Confidence from the week before. This is a bit of a danger game, but they went bang early. Game sort of, over early, really. They're going well. And we said it a few weeks ago, this team's not missing finals because they're functioning too well as a team. And that's what it comes down to when you head into the finals. So the Hawks are a bit of a sleeper for me.
Same, Croft. I couldn't.
You're in.
I'm there. I'm in with them. They're playing some bloody terrific football, and like you said, they really stamped their authority on the game early. It was a danger game against Melbourne because the way they played last week, they've got nothing to lose. They're going to take it on at all costs. But what Hawks did within that first 10 minutes just put the game to bed. Really, set the scene. I just want to give Gunnar a big shout out. It's 60 goals. He's 33 years of age. He's got better. It's incredible what he's doing to kick 60 at that age. One thing I noticed, and he's always been good at it, it's just his movement. He doesn't stop moving, and the defender can't get set up. So he's just constantly moving, and then when he sees one of the boys get it, bang, he's on his toes. Yes. He's getting lead ups, and he's doing it as good as anyone. And he's a lock for All-Australian for sure.
You reckon he's definitely a lock?
He's a lock for it. He's kicked 60 goals. He'll be forward pocket for sure.
Well, he didn't start in the team at the start of the year, and he comes in and he's got to play some negating type roles, on some very good defenders and making sure they can't impact and influence. So, and then he just gets to the right spots, and as you said, he doesn't stop moving.
Yeah.
He changes the angles all the time. The defender's always second-guessing, trying to watch the ball, but then as soon as they turn their head, off he goes. So it's a great effort. And, especially for a player, and that's a perfect example of a player playing the role, It's like, hey, I'm not the go-to, but I'll play the role, and if the opportunity presents or if we find there's a bit of a mismatch, he's super. And I think Hawthorn's midfield, they've had to change things, but more floating through up the field a bit. Gideon, I think, has had a very good year for someone who got dropped and said, listen, get back to work. Just be the blue-collar worker. Keep presenting to the right spots. And Luke Bruce, I want to give him a special mention. 307 games, 553 goals. I know you played with him. But his front and centre or front and square work, even when he goes up the field, he gets to the right spots. It's all about timing. He's turned himself into an absolute master, and that is a great example of someone who was doubted. They weren't sure.
Rookie.
He went to work.
Rookie list.
And a wonderful, wonderful career, and one of the best front and centre players you'll ever see at floating through, getting the timing right. And he would have been licking his lips, playing in a forward line with you and Ruffy and, now with Jack Gunston, who's one of his good mates. But what a player.
Pretty, like you said, Croft, 307 games for a guy that came off a rookie list.
From Temora, which is New South Wales, near Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
So sort of the middle of nowhere, not really an AFL country.
Yeah.
It's more of a NRL. It's a great story.
It is. And one of the most respected players at the footy club. Incredible player. Obviously, saw him when he first came into Hawks as a young kid. But to kick 553 goals as a small forward, I think he's underrated. He is. For what he's done in the game, it's incredible. It's incredible, and hopefully he can continue to play these next few games and finish off strong.
Well, he's an impact player. We've seen as a sub, he comes on and he goal assists. He kicks goals when he comes on. He's a perfect sub. He could definitely be sub next year if he really wanted to. If you're playing a quarter each week, he could definitely keep doing that. We want to say to Ken Hinkley, congratulations on a great coaching career. Done it for such a long time, which is not easy to be an AFL coach. And, you know, we wish him all the very best. 13 years as a coach and nearly 300 games, super effort. And also Travis Boak, it's going to be his last game this week. We wish him all the best. He's all the very best. He's played 385 games, 3 times All-Australian, best and fairest, Port captain for a long time. And also Fyfe, Nathan Fyfe, 2-time Brownlow medalist. He's been a game changer for Fremantle, put them on the map. You know, they're obviously going out. They're great players, although they might stay in Fremantle. We haven't written them off that. I think they missed an opportunity on the weekend, Fremantle, because he was a sub. They needed some energy and impact, but they warmed him up in the change rooms. He should have been warming up around the boundary, crowds up and about, thinking, hang on, Fyfe's coming into the game. This might be the last time we ever see him. I think sometimes coaches and I think there's opportunities where you got to find something. I think they missed an opportunity.
I would have just played him from the start.
That's possible.
Played him from the start because last
very
time
good
they
point.
didn't, he came on and hurt his calf. But they should have just played him from the start and just go, let's put him in the guards.
This might be his last game here.
Build some energy off it, and then everyone will lift from it. But I want to go back to Boakey, Croft. I think he's going to leave a lasting legacy at that football club, not only with his football and what he was able to do, but it's the off-field stuff in the off-season, taking young guys to America, training with them, teaching them how to be professional. I think that's the kind of stuff that he's going to leave that legacy piece to Port Adelaide and what he's been able to do with those young boys throughout his career has been huge. But 2 wonderful players will be missed. Fyfe will go down as a legend of the footy club of the AFL, and Boakey himself the same, and Ken. So three great coaches and players there.
Great contributors, and we wish them all the very best. I'm sure they won't be lost to the football world. You're listening to the Buddy and Shane show for AOA Australia. I got the T-shirt on today. A life, health and wellbeing insurer.
Looks good,
with
actually.
a commitment to helping Australians lead healthier, longer, better lives. I have to get you a T-shirt. Hey, let's just float through some of the wins on the weekend. St Kilda, 2 points over Essendon. Well done, Essendon. I know you didn't win the game, but we thought this was going to be one-sided. You are undermanned, but you are performing so well. So well done.
Look at their last 2 weeks before that, though, Croft. They've been in the games. Against Geelong, they sort of tested them too. They've been in the game. So as an Essendon supporter, you should be pretty...
I would argue with anyone that their 2 performances over the last 2 weeks have been some of the better performances for the whole year. Even sides that have won, outperforming them. St Kilda, well, they found a way to win, and that's all you need to do. Carlton, well, the Blues, congratulations to the Blues. We should have given them a shout-out earlier. A 54-point win. Hewitt was awesome. He's had a wonderful year. Probably wins their best and fairest. Walsh was back. But Harry, Big Harry, 7 goals. He's hitting form just in time for pre-season.
To be traded.
Just in time to go to the Swans.
Well done to him. He's had a tough year. He's had a really tough year, obviously with injury and then mental health issues, I think. So to get back,
good on you, Harry.
Hit the scoreboard, kick goals. Life is good, isn't it, when you're kicking the goals, Croft?
Life is good. North Melbourne up against the Tigers.
Sheasel, 54 touches. What the hell?
A world record.
Going ball out there.
A world record. How can that happen? A lot of their players had huge possessions. So obviously Richmond just said, listen, we're going free for all. Just go and have fun, roll around, get a touch, feel good about yourself. But yes, 54 touches, 2 goals. What a performance.
Incredible. 54, 2 goals. what 180 something super coach, whatever. It's an incredible game. But surely you put someone on him, Croft. You'd think.
Well, you think
once it gets to about 35, you'd
when
be
he
like,
hits
okay.
40 by half time, you think, do you know what? I think this kid's having a good game, and they're actually winning on the scoreboard. So there's a chance we might need to shut this bloke down. No, we'll let him have 54. And let him have a couple of goals as well.
But he's been pretty impressive as a young kid come in. It's been no different to Dacos with the way he's gone about it. But it's North Melbourne are down the bottom of the ladder, so it doesn't get talked about as much. But I think in a couple of years when North Melbourne are winning a few more games and they're getting towards finals, he'll be talked about like Dacos for sure.
Cats, Swans. Cats just too good. Their running power through the middle. And, you know, when they had to put their foot down, they did. The Swans weren't too bad. Competitive.
They'll be disappointed with that. I thought it looked to me the first half was pretty good.
Yep.
And then when they got challenged and Geelong got on top, they stopped working. They stopped working as much as they had. And, you know, it's been a long year and a disappointing year for them. But I think the lack of effort in that second half, they'll be disappointed with that.
Bulldogs, Eagles. Bulldogs did what we thought they might do. They put the foot on the throat. They're in good form. They're in good form. If they can get over Fremantle next week, and it's not a given, it's not going to just turn up and happen because Fremantle have been a good team.
It is always dangerous when you have a 100-point win and then you go into the next week. You're like, oh, shit. It's just going to happen like that.
That's true.
You can be on the back foot a little bit. So I think they'll be having chats at the club to be ready. Like Docker's going to come over and try to ambush them. So I think they're going to have to be right on their toes and go, it's going to be a completely different game. It's going to be massive. So it's always dangerous when you have a big win and then you come up against a team that's coming out the next week. It's hard.
And Bontempelli, Marvel, as you said.
30-something again?
Did he have mate, that's a bit greedy, isn't it? Running around.
All-Australian again. 7 times he will be. He's had
really?
You look at his...
What did he miss, the first 5 or 6? I think
he missed a few, but I reckon with what he's done, he'll be up there for the Brownlow.
Really?
I reckon he would have got a lot of votes this second half of the season. He's getting 30-1 nearly most weeks.
The greatest Bulldog of all time, I reckon, from a playing point of view. Just the way that he's driven that club and taken it to the next level, and the stuff that he can do under enormous pressure.
He's so good to watch, isn't he?
I just admire him. It's now time for
Buddy's Young Star of the Week for the Kia Tasman. Here now.
Darcy Jones from GWS.
I thought he played for Port Adelaide. Oh no, that's the other Darcy.
He's an incredible little player, this one.
Yes.
He's zippy.
You've got to have little players in the competition.
But he makes things happen, doesn't he? He tackles, he pressures, and then gets back onto it, and then he runs and he bursts, and he's awesome to watch. He's awesome to watch with that little helmet on. He's a good little player, and he had another good game on the weekend. But I think going towards finals, I think he can be an X factor for GWS for sure. I think he can sort of get off the chain. I think when you've got work rate like that and you're fast and explosive, you've got X factor. So I think he's a great little player and he's been tremendous this year. So he is my Kia Young Star of the Week, mate.
Oh, there you go. He's 15 touches, 4 tackles, 3 inside 50s and a goal a game. He was picked 21 in the 2022 draft. He missed his first season with a knee injury. He's still only 21. Nice selection. Darcy Jones from the Giants. Good on you. Go and get them. Buddy's Young Star of the Week, thanks to the Kia Tasman, the most Australian Kia ever developed. Built tough. Tested hard. And ready for anything. Whether you're hauling, towing, or making the road less travelled, the Tasman is made for the job. The Kia Tasman, here now. Look out for Buddy's ad coming soon. Buddy's Bangers. No, what was it? Buddy's what?
What was it? Buddy's Sausages or
Buddy's
something, wasn't
Butchery.
it? Or Buddy's Butchery.
Like he's kicking back in the day. He used to butcher it all the time. Hey, special mention to Dayne Zorko, playing 300 games this week against the Hawks. Don't go too well, Dayne. 5-time best and fairest winner, 2-time All-Australian. He's club captain for a long time, incredible player. He was overlooked early in his career. He was in the Queensland zone selection in 2011. But he's hung with that club. He's been through a tough period. He went through a period where no one wanted to go to the Brisbane Lions. He kept playing well, holding that club together. And then now he's seeing, the club being the powerhouse that he is. So congratulations, Dayne Zorko. I don't know if you know Dayne Zorko very well.
No, I don't.
But, he definitely ruffles feathers of the opposition players and teams, but you'd love him in your team, wouldn't you? Especially with his run and kicking.
300 games. Awesome effort.
Very hard to do.
Awesome effort. And
the 1% club.
And especially with the injuries he had in the past with his hamstrings. He had a few hammy issues in the last couple of years. So he's obviously got on top of that. And to play 300 is incredible. And I think he's got a couple more in him. He's 35. I reckon he could keep going for a couple more years. And they look after him.
Especially with the license he's got.
It's a pretty good role now. You don't have to man up, so it's great.
If you are watching Dayne Zorko on the weekend or you're watching him during finals, the Brisbane Lions, they have a green light attitude when they win the footy. But it's not only when they win the footy, when they're about to win the footy, normally you hold your position and you don't roll the dice. Brisbane go, nah, he's 60% to win, we're going. And they just charge. So it almost becomes impossible to work out because they are taking that little bit of a risk. But they can work the other way and you can get them
if you're
as long as you can get the footy. But I'll tell you what, it's very hard to stop. And they talk about orange tsunami with the Giants. You watch the Lions, the way they just charge. It's pretty amazing to watch, especially live when they're darting in all different directions.
You are. But if Hawks are on this week defensively, you need to be on defensively.
A buddy's moral coming up.
You need to be on with them
in Thursday's
You've got to cover that corridor. Cover that corridor. Be on your toes. Be ready for those inside 45 kicks. If you're on your toes, you can shut them off and you can get them going back the other way. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be that game's going to be that's a cracking game.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one I'm looking.
Tune in Thursday because we are going to tell you who's going to win that game and all the other games. As I said, Travis Boak, Ken Hinkley, Nat Fyfe, all the very best with the rest of your careers, wherever they may take you. And then Dayne Zorko, good luck with your 300th game. Tune in on Thursday for the very last moral.
It's happening.
For the season.
It's happening. Is it? Wow.
Apart from finals. So it's not finishing just then.
I've got one this week, guys.
Oh,
so.
he's on again. I'll tell you what, there's no one hotter. Thanks for listening. We will see you. See you Thursday.
See ya.